One more fucking Christmas gift I don't have to get. That's it. Hey, listen. I don't want to turn this in. A lot of people are writing me. No. You're gonna be. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna be fine. Just to get into that, I'm just gonna give you some straight up truths and what was going on behind the scenes. And I did do my best to protect the podcast the best I could. But this latest stunt that Keemstar pulled made me realize, without a shadow of a doubt, that there was an attempt to fire me with scarce that I know about. I mean, Clown as much as told me that. After I said, thank you for being on the podcast, I tweeted him, that's like the worst thing I did, and I got like completely reamed the fuck out. And then I said, yes, I'm wrong, yes. And at one point I said to him, I go, what do you want me to do going forward? Like, how do you want me to handle it? And he never answered the question. And then I realized he was trying to piss me off. And when I realized he was trying to piss me off, that's when I got suspicious. Clown talked to me. He was trying to fire you. He really wanted to fire you, but I just didn't give him enough ammo, not at least in front of Clown, because I got this ass reaming in front of Clown, right? Well, then lo and behold, a few weeks later, we got the 33% thing, right? And initially I took Keem's side. I was like, look, I'll keep my 20%. I think he's absolutely wrong. It turns out it was just a passing conversation. Clown was not demanding to have the Clown was certainly not demanding to hold up the podcast for extra money. And it wouldn't have been extra money for him. It would actually have been extra money for me if Keem was telling the truth. And he wasn't, as we all know. So for the last couple days, we've basically told Keemstar the next episode comes out or we walk. And I fucking cucked him good. I actually walked and chatted him. I told him, without a fucking doubt, I will walk from this podcast. Walk from this podcast unless you put this last episode out. Not so much for me, because I do come off looking good in it. It's basically to stand up for Clown. Clown's issues have always been censorship. So Clown was going to leave a couple months ago because he's getting censored. I figured, you know what? Now's the time to stand, because in a couple months, when this shit gets cleared up, Clown's going to be pissed off. And I'm sick of living in a world where this is just going to pop. I'd rather it pop. And it did. And that's fine. For a lot of you guys saying that I wasn't loyal to Keemstar, you're falling into his trap.
Bullshit.
You're falling into his trap. He doesn't want to do the podcast anymore. He just doesn't want to do it. And he couldn't walk away from it. He had to destroy one of us, which is so ironic, because the entire series of bait is almost completely based on the fact that Leafy and Grade told him to fuck off rather than just separating from him. He's basically done the same thing that was done to him. Instead of Leafy and Grade walking away, what did they do? They tried to fuck him over. Probably because they were afraid he was going to fuck them over first. Yeah. The difference between me and Clown is we were always going to make him let him make that move, because we don't really have anything to hide and anything to lose. I don't know, like I don't really know my if baited stays or goes, it might affect my paycheck, but it's not going to affect my reputation. It's just not. It never was going to, and it's not going to affect Clown's either. This video that came out is old information. Information that was talked about in the baited podcast. Information that was talked about in front of my presence. Keem knew about everything. Clown was searching for dirt on Keem to do a video like he's done with so many YouTubers before. He found this particular pedophile information that was completely false, and he didn't use it. And then Keem gave him an opportunity of a lifetime. How about I make a podcast where you can criticize me and I criticize you, and then lo and behold, I got ridiculously lucky, and I got to be a part of this fantastic podcast. It was just blind friggin' luck on my part. I've never said anything else besides that. So this is essentially what happened. So Keem couldn't get rid of me because I didn't do anything wrong, at least not enough to fuck. Because basically, what Clown's always told Keem,
not enough to make you the bad guy.
Very early on, I could tell Keem didn't really like me, right? And Clown essentially told him, if you just get rid of him, I'm walking too. Well, he can't do one without the other. So what Keem finally decided is to blow up the podcast. That's what happened. So he couldn't get over me. So when the 33% thing happened, and I didn't bite on that, I didn't say Clown's got to go. He went to, and I'm sorry, I'm throwing Clown on the bus. He went to Clown and he said, let's get rid of Tommy. We don't need him. He's just been going back and forth and back and forth. You know why? Because his $18K sitting in the YouTube bank over there. That's why. That's really what it's come down to. So when I got pissed off last week and I told him off right live in this podcast, Thank you very much. Love you, no homo, Colossal Huffman, Dave. You guys are shit. Keem almost turned you into a normal person, but your ego is giving you mental illness. I think he already has it. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
There's no question about
it's
that.
It's so obvious that he's mentally ill. So, I mean, this is the truth. This is what happened. He didn't want this podcast to continue because he didn't need it. I defended him effectively. Clown said to me offline, he was like, part of this is your fault. You've defended him so effectively and given him a perfect narrative against Leafing Grade. Well, he got this and did exactly what H3 and his wife, by the way, offline said. When I was in the Baited podcast, he said, now that you got this over with, are you going to be the monster? And sure enough, he came right back. I'm not really disappointed because as much as I hate to say it, when David is gaming started throwing bombs at me, said, Keem's going to fuck you one day. You watch, he'll throw you. I knew he was telling the truth. The difference between David, and we're cool now, is I didn't have much of a choice. I had to take his deal in my situation.
Well, it's called accepting. When you know you're getting
I knew I was dealing with a nut.
With a monster, you know how to prepare.
You know what your fate was going to be.
Yeah, I knew. But I also, when I looked at the facts on the Leafy Grade situation and looked at their videos and realized they were really snaking him. So I don't take any of the defenses I said from Keem, but I do understand what Grade and Leafy were doing. They were afraid he was going to do this to them, and they jumped the gun. The problem is, don't do it with a false narrative. Keem did the same thing to me and Clown. He's buying into a false narrative that, oh my God, everybody uses me for my money and nobody respects me unless he's a fucking woman. I want you to look
He's creating this narrative. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's creating this narrative. So we're damaged. We're damaged. And you know what? 1 million followers, a huge YouTube channel, it's not working. Because the simple truth is most people don't like Daniel Keem. They like his content and they like that he's funny and entertaining and he's a wild man. Keem needs to be loved. And if this Baited podcast, I'm really going to put a lot of pressure on Clown to put this out. A lot of pressure. He needs to be loved. He wants to be the prick bad guy and loved at the same time. And you can't be both. You can be an anti-hero, but in the end, the anti-hero is going to do the right thing. He wants to be like this weird shade of both. And he's really sensitive. And he's basically, I have dated girls that are, my current wife, I've dated girls that are less emotional than him. He's an absolute
I figured him out, Tommy.
Pussy.
I figured out what he actually is. Because he's not any of that. He doesn't want to walk in both worlds. This is what he wants. Mm-hmm. He wants to not face any criticism for anything he does. Mm-hmm. He's not trying to be a certain type of person. He's just trying to have everything his way without getting any criticism.
That is it.
That is the
100%.
That's the win.
It's either his way or nothing happens.
Nothing happens at all.
And let me tell you, this entire thing, this is what it's doing to me. It's driving me to fucking drink.
Medicinal soda.
Oh God, I should get some beer too. Yeah, I did. Like you said, Keem got cucked. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you how bad I cucked Keem. I was in a Discord conversation, and I called him a fucking bitch, and he was going to put this fucking episode out because I was going to stick it straight up his fucking ass. And he's like, fuck you, man. But the real tough Keemstar. Keem is a desperate year to stay relevant. This is coming from someone who used to enjoy his content. Sadly, at this point, not even entertaining. What people have to realize is every double-cross backs has a common denominator, Keem. So, that's the thing. He's trying to portray this as or actually Clown. And by the way, for all you guys that say I'm following the money's with him. I'm doing this because it's the right thing to do. And Clown didn't do anything but support him. But he knows he cannot control us anymore. Well, he never did. I could honestly defend Keem when this happened.
Than everybody else.
And he was never going to control Clown. And it was only a vehicle. He said the key words on our last podcast that he was on here. He goes, I can do a podcast with somebody else. He said it over and over again. Said it offline. Said it all the time. There's always a threat of him leaving, right?
Here.
And it used to scare the shit out of me. But as time went on, I tell Dave, I just got sick of hearing it. It just didn't matter. And then at the end of the fucking last podcast, I said, quit, you bitch! Quit! That's what he doesn't want out. He goes, okay, quit. Like a baby. That's what happens in the podcast. That's essentially what was going on. So he doesn't want that out because he is just a big baby and everybody knows it. But he also wants to have the Keemstar, this evil sort of figure. It's just so bizarre.
It is, and this one is even the most bizarre of all of them because it seems like he did indeed try to get rid of Clown 2 weeks ago with the whole 30% thing, the false narrative on it, over the most ridiculous of numbers. 3% is essentially what it was over, but he doesn't paint it that way. He tries to paint it in every other way using loyalty and all this stuff. That didn't work. It blew up spectacularly. So he reels back. You beat him up a little bit with the Discord stuff. So he reels back. He comes up with a new fucking brilliant plan and goes back to, wait a second. Clown and I met over a fucking certain situation.
Mm-hmm.
These guys just did a podcast about it. Fucking maybe I can use this.
Or
the problem is,
everybody knew it. He forgot that
out there.
he talked about this on the harassment episode that Clown said he dropped this. There is no information on this new podcast. Zero, none, zero, zip, nothing. Nothing that I wasn't told privately. Nothing nothing. See, I think Keem forgot. And what he's saying now is like, there's new information on this. There's no new information. And if this prove it. Prove it, you bitch.
Prove it. He's just trying to find a way where he can turn it to where he's not the bad guy in the situation.
Yeah. And for those making this about loyalty, look, loyalty is not, nor it has ever been, fucking believing and defending the lies of one person lying about another one of your friends that's actually telling the truth.
Yeah, I mean, like I don't have any choice. This is going to hurt me financially, guys.
Multiple times. You defended Keem multiple times. You even said multiple times on this show, I want Drama Alert to win. And you and Clown went to ridiculous lengths to try to keep the podcast alive, pretty much short of actually sucking his dick.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And by the way, John Scarce, you're more than welcome to use any of this material. You know?
Scarce, hit us up. Have your people
Scarce, thanks. By the way, John Scarce is a great guy. I really mean that. No, I'm not even saying that. Like, me and Clown talked to him for an hour the night before the podcast. Like, all right, yeah, he's boring. There's a lot of criticism, and Clown was really tough. But he's a fucking nice guy, dude. He's like, I could totally have a beer with that dude.
Hey, Zoe likes him, so he's good.
I mean, but at the end of the day, also, I want to make this 100% clear. Like, all my defenses of Keem, I stand by every single one. I can. He was wronged, right? He was 100% wronged. But it was just kind of like Ethan predicted or said, or he asked him, are you going to be this person going forward? Are you going to be this guy? And he said no, because I learned. And he even fooled me. And he told me privately, he goes, Tommy, I was around Grade Leafy, and all we ever did is talk about destroying people. And now it's been done to me. And I was like, wow, man, this is like, what amazing turnaround. And it wasn't, then you start looking around, I was like, I don't need these two fuckers. I need Clown, I don't really need Tommy. That's the trace, it's the truth. I'm sure he doesn't need me to sell the podcast. He's going to get 100,000 hits no matter what he gets on. And he's probably going to put a new crew together, and it's going to suck out, and it's going to keep going and going and going. By the way, David is Gaming, that was the only thing you were right about. But I swear to God, I knew it. But I mean, how could I turn it down?
Walk at the time.
Right.
Yeah. It's a dream.
You couldn't pass that up.
No. It's a dream sitting in front of you. You got to, regardless of how it ended, you got to live something that fucking, you can write a book about one.
That's the hardest part of this, because I know I have nothing unless Keemstar's here. I'm absolutely 100% aware of that, you know, and I don't even like, Tommy, you have loyal fans, Clown, and you start over again. Keem is cancer. Anyone with a brain knows this. We love you, Tommy and Clown. Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. But I mean, I knew this, but I just I'll write it out. So what's the fucking worst that can happen? Well, that finally happened. And hopefully I'll be able to hang on. This is a huge risk, but it is what it is, and I'm much more comfortable about it. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I didn't want the podcast. I thought on Sunday when we did Shot from the Point Live that the podcast was over. So did you, Dave. And when Clown came on, he kind of came on and said I saved it. What was I going to do on live? What was I going to do on live TV? Saying, no, there's no bait, and I'm sticking by my... I'm fucked at that point, right? And I'll do that. Look, me and Keem don't have much... I've talked to him privately twice in my life. He called me when he's really bummed out when he's losing subs, and we talked about it for a little bit. And then he took a vacation, right? And then about 2 weeks ago, when he won some money on Bitcoin, that was the only time we ever talked privately. The rest of the time, if Clown wasn't there, it was, where's Clown? Where's Clown? I swear to God, I'm gonna walk away. I swear to God, I'm gonna. That was my daily life. And then as time went on, because it was just daily, you know, or every time we got together, not daily exactly, I stopped caring. I'm like, fuck off, whatever. You know, I don't regret anything I did on that podcast. I don't regret any defense. No. But Keemstar is a snake. There's no fucking doubt about it. No, and he's trying to prepare a narrative that we snaked him. Other way around. He took information that was already known, already out there, and tried to use it against us. I think Clown's trying to call in. Don't call in on that one. Don't call in that one. Clown's just as bad as everybody else in this fucking podcast.
I know. You know? Speaking of everybody else, there's 2,353 people here. Right? All right.
Whoa.
Only 649 likes. So here's how it's going to work, kids. If you've been here, you know I like to do kind of wacky things. And I've got something really special today, a brand new debuting of a hat that you're not going to want to miss. 1,000 likes, you get a new hat. Real simple. 1,000 likes, new hat. It's coming. 1,000 likes. Do it now. Clown's here. My life is better already.
Yep. All right. Do I got anything wrong so far, buddy?
I missed the very beginning, but certainly not. I don't think so.
Yeah, and I'm sorry, buddy.
I wasn't going to call in, to be honest, because I'm like, I don't want to come across like I'm playing the victim card or anything like that. But it's like, it is sad. It's like quite sad that it's ended. It's like we have, as Jeff said, fucking Jeff Huffman.
Yeah.
I recovered from the said, yeah, we've done everything we can, we possibly can, to keep the podcast going. But I think it's just got to this point. And Tommy, less so than me, has tried to keep it going for as long as it has, which is not what you'd expect, I guess. But Tommy was willing to call it a day long before I did.
It's true.
And I was like, let's keep it going, let's keep it going, let's keep it going. And I think it's just gotten to a point now that can't work with this guy.
Sure. I mean,
can't work with him.
Well, the
he's
thing
so
is,
impulsive. This was this latest thing. I mean, literally call it.
Do you really believe this is impulsive, or do you think this is prepared? Because I think this is prepared. He knew about this. The information was out. It was impulsive in the sense that it was, he picked this one thing. He thought this was behind the scenes information. He forgot he talked about it. I don't think that was the only thing impulsive about it. There's no new information on this podcast, and probably definitely a flat out bullshit accusation of you. That's really what this has come down to.
I've spoken to the guy who did the podcast, Critical. He's a very respected guy. And I genuinely like him. I've just spoken to him very briefly in the DMs. He said most of it is a joke.
Well, how can most of it be a joke?
We certainly see eye to eye on that. I saw the podcast yesterday. Someone sent it to me. Didn't think it was a very big deal. I wasn't even going to respond to it, to be honest. But Keemstar got involved and he made a big deal out of it. He blew it out of proportion. It's a podcast where jokes, and they said some pretty, they hurt clowns' feelings. I don't give a shit. It was just shit talking me on a podcast.
Here's the thing. All the information's old. All the information either Keemstar forgot or knew. And I'm betting on new. We talked about this offline. We talked about this in the harassment episode. And here's the other thing. For you're a really lousy at being a snake clown because you never release the information. What a lousy snake you are.
It's so private. I had this information going back to November last fucking year. This is how old this is. I knew about it before Grade did his video, before Joey Salads did his video, before anyone fucking knew about it except the very people who were involved in that stream at the time. And I concluded, as I told many people, even though despite I was looking into it, what I concluded from that research was that it was all bullshit. There was nothing to it, no way you could prove anything. And I spoke to Keemstar about it, and Keemstar gave me a perfectly rational and reasonable explanation for it. So there was nothing to it.
And not to mention, talk about the girl that basically posed. She was young. She didn't turn out being younger than she was. It wasn't like she was 11. She was 16, and she looked like a woman. 16. Yeah, and she looked like a woman. This is somebody called in Keem's stream. Like some girl could call into my stream now and show her titties or something like that. That's what happened.
All that's irrelevant.
Here's another thing. If that happens on the internet, because it counts as across straight lines, State Puff Marshmallow Man, I'll kick you straight in the teeth. I swear to God. If that happens across straight, that's FBI business. How come the FBI, as big a star as Keemstar's been, has never took any interest in that whatsoever? Because it's not true.
There's nothing
to it. It's no worse than a 16-year-old girl going to a strip club saying she's 21. That's the same fucking thing. And Grade, who, like I said, I could still defend all the Keemstar on the Beta podcast and on here because Grade used this narrative to sort of destroy them. Destroy Keem. Isn't it ironic that Keemstar took the same tactic against you and literally made up a false narrative to end Baited, not unlike Leafy and Grave used a false narrative to break up from Keemstar. It's hysterical. He didn't even learn.
End Baited. Not only end Baited, but try to irreparably destroy Clown's reputation on the way out.
Yeah.
That's what he tried to do.
The mere fact that I kept this private for so long was because there was no reason for me to release this publicly. Yes, I was looking into it at the time. I mean, obviously, it was kind of like sensitive subject matter. Obviously, if there's any validity to it, and Keemstar asked this girl to do it, and she was younger than 16, yeah, I mean, that's worth looking into.
Yeah.
Which is why I did. And that's all it was. It was all done privately. Nothing was ever released publicly. I certainly didn't release it. Obviously, Joey Salads didn't give a shit. Yeah. And he put it in his video.
Joey Salads, man.
A modicum of the research.
I got an interview question for you. And I know you wouldn't do this now, and I'm not going to do this now. I'm just doing my stupid radio show, which is basically a live stream. And if Keem pops up, he pops up. But I think you guys are going to be surprised with me. From here on in, I'm only going to defend myself. If there's any bullshit come out, I'm going to defend myself. I don't really feel much of a reason to do this absolutely every day. Beta podcast is over. Sorry, folks. folks did her best. But I have to ask you something, and I know you won't do this now because me and you had an agreement the first time the Baited podcast broke up that we wouldn't make any videos on Keem because we were generally thankful for the opportunity. You got 200K out of it. 200K out of it. I mean, I have, God knows how much. I got tons out of this too. Let's just
you grew
break
by
it up.
30 times.
Yeah, 30 times. I mean, like
just a few.
But not as revenge, but maybe in a couple months, if he screws up, and this is the question he wants answered, I guarantee it because he's watching. Would you make a video on Keemstar? Clown?
No.
Never.
I will not.
Never. No matter what
I'm
he
not
does.
saying never.
A year from now,
I'm not saying
2 years
never,
from now.
I think it's a far from possibility. No, I can't do that at this stage.
Grade is in the stream? No.
Good on you.
No, I won't do it. And as regards the podcast, the last episode that we refused to release, I still won't release it.
Well, I'll tell you something. If Grade's in the stream, if you think you're getting any fucking sympathy from me, you bitch, and saying, see, I told you, man. I told you, mate. No. You didn't tell me shit. You snaked the snake. You're still a snake, and he's a snake. Yeah. You just snaked the snake. So you can't come in here and say, I told you so. You didn't. No, you got caught. You got owned. And the only reason you didn't get buried like Leafy did, which I think is actually unfair because Leafy didn't make up a fucking false narrative about Keem beating his wife. All right? Keem didn't do that at all. The only reason Leafy is because Nick Cash named him. And I guarantee you Nick spared your ass, you dumb dope moron. Jesus Christ. You know what? Go back to... You know what? I was wrong about you, Grade. I was absolutely wrong about you. You should be around kids. You should be around kids all fucking day because they needed an example of what not to be like. A lying sack of shit. How about that?
I would rather not make this about.
All right, I just want to get that off. I just wanted to make sure because if he really is in the chat,
a couple episodes debated.
Yeah. It's
that's how you really feel, Tommy.
All my friends in one day. That would probably be.
Do you want more on Keem is trying to get in, but he's calling the wrong line as usual. Do you want to let him in and fight this out, or do you want? Or are you saying no? Are you done with him?
No, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying no. He can come in if he wants.
No. I gotta be honest with you. I don't want him in. I want to see what he puts out to defend himself. Ball's in your court, bitch. Bring it. And I'm okay. I have no reason to put Keemstar on whatsoever. He's just going to do what he always does. He's going to use circular reasoning to keep it circle, and it's going to make this show fucking boring. And I'd rather just take fucking phone calls. Keem, you got caught. Leafy's in here? Holy Christmas. I'd rather let him on. How about that?
Well, everyone's coming out for this one. Holy fucking
we got the guy, Grade, who stole my chin, and Leafy, who could use some.
I really don't think I won't put Grade and Leafy on. I'll tell you why, because it's not fair. And it's not fair. I've been wanting to say that to his face for a long fucking time. You're still a lying sack of shit, and I don't feel, and you're like, you think I'm fucking sweating this shit? I'm not. I'll be fine. I don't know. Where do we go from here, Clown? Should we take phone calls? What do you want to do?
Well, let's just state for the record, Baited is fucking over. Right? It's fucking finished. There is no fucking way we're ever going to do it again. Like, there's no way.
Why does this guy block me on...
I will die before I ever do another episode of Baited Podcast.
What is fucking... He blocks us on Twitter, right? This bitch blocks us on fucking Twitter. And now he wants to call in. Why don't you block me on... If you're so worried about me on Twitter, you sociopath, why don't you block me on this too?
Honestly, look, if I made a mistake and I have something to apologize for, I just don't think I do. This was in January of this year.
He knew about it. We talked about it. It's in the Baited podcast. Now go talk about the new information. Sort of like you made up the narrative about the 33%. Technically, that's a raise. And that's what he's going to do. He's going to have some kind of thin thing and try to bang it home and only more. It's so funny. Why am I getting so much hate? Why am I getting so much hate? And not realizing... Not realizing you're doing the same thing over and over again. He actually doesn't realize that. Anyway, do you want to take calls? Baited's over. Keemstar, fuck off. I had enough of you.
It's fucking over.
I don't need to talk to you, dude. You know what? Go make a video. Go make a fucking video. Prove that there's new information in there. And even if that's the funny part, because you're so stupid, Keem. Even if there's new information on there, Clown never dropped a video on you. And it happened in January. There was no Baited podcast.
Private.
You weren't
before
friends.
We did the Baited podcast, before we were friends, before he was even following me on Twitter. It's so ridiculous. It's so long ago.
And do you want to see him cream back and forth? I don't. I'd rather put Leafy on, because at least he could come in here and laugh.
I could do it for him. His narrative is so simple. He's put it out already on Twitter. He does not feel that he should be obligated or bullied into working with somebody who he feels tried to plot against him to take down his family. It's fucking.
It's so ridiculous. He knew about it.
Why is it still? Why is it
Those video on Keemstar, which everybody knew about it. I talked about it fucking enough on my Twitter. The tweets are still fucking there. That's the only thing that I was plotting.
You blew it.
As regards this information, if it was proved true about this girl, would I have released it?
Yeah.
See, I cannot answer that question. Maybe not. I'd like to think I would have done the right thing, and if it was true, I probably would have gone to the fucking police, or at the very least, a different.
Yeah, exactly. We make a YouTube video. This guy's a pedophile. We need to get the fucking FBI. I mean, come on.
But I never released it publicly, ever.
Jesus. Nah, you know what? Keem's got a big enough platform. He doesn't need mine. Don't give him a platform to stand on. Fucking Ethan was right about you.
He's got his own.
Ethan was so right about you. And you know what the best part is, the one that drives Keem the most? And I'll get a few more dislikes. Look at the dislike-like ratio. Keem, with the whole e-begging thing, and then I'm crying poor mouth, really couldn't draw that much hate from us. You know why? Because we've been fucking straight up with you, me and Clown, day one. The guy that's not straight up is him. Like, again, I thank Keem for helping me out. But I honestly starting to think it was his own selfish interest. And I think even adding Clown to the podcast gave him a ring of credibility that he wouldn't otherwise have had. So I really think everything at the end of the day was about Keem. The Leafy Grade war was over. He just didn't need us anymore. And he'll probably get two other guys that'll run his narrative. You know, I was promised that I could say what I want.
We'll never see another podcast like Baited, not for a while.
Yeah, you're not going to do it. I
agree.
So, whatever.
It's a great fucking shame, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
And I'm sorry, I am sorry to the people that enjoyed watching the Baited podcast, but we physically cannot do it anymore.
Come on.
It's not.
It's not going to. I mean, for the same reasons Keem's gave out. We can't fucking work with a guy that's going to snake us. You know? Yeah. Why couldn't, if you really believe Keemstar.
There's a bigger shame here.
Yeah, that's true.
There's an even bigger shame here. You know what that is?
What?
All the fucking money that you made during this time, you're going to have to treat your ulcers that you got from fucking making it. It's fucking unfortunate.
I'm actually, I got to be honest with you, I feel great.
Now,
I feel great because I don't have to worry. Like I know my future is good. Like I know I'm on my own now. I feel great. Does that guarantee? I'm not going to sit there and lie to everybody and say, well, it's going to be even better, guys. I don't need Keemstar. Well, look, I don't know what's going to happen here. But you know what?
I'm making less money.
I can sleep at night.
Honestly, I love the drama. What? I don't care about the drama, but it's dealing with it every single day. Like you cannot do it. You will get an ulcer doing it every single day if you're having to explain yourself and explain what happened nearly a year ago in a 30-minute private call. Like, no, this is madness. Absolute madness. Nobody can do that.
You can't do it with your teammates. Not when you're doing it as a fucking team, with talking about it on show.
Guess what? You lost because you can't shut up.
You have to be on the same page.
I'm trying to put somebody through, and they just can't be quiet. I wish we had a real fucking radio setup. 714, you're on the air.
Hi, Tommy. It's Free Outlaw or Free Chance here. Chashi or whatever you want to call me.
Yeah, whatever your name is.
Yeah. I just made a video, like a crash course on the entire situation, but dude, I'm sorry this is happening to you, but I'm so glad you're speaking up for yourself. And
no, there's nothing to be sorry about. It was a good run. Thanks, Keem, but it's over. I'm not going to facilitate you destroying somebody who I care very deeply about. I talked to Colossal offline. I have a relationship with. I really never had a relationship with Keem. It wasn't mean I wasn't grateful, but we weren't friends. We really weren't friends. I had to fucking that is the only thing that I've ever lied to the Baited audience about. The only thing that we were friends. We had no relationship. We had no relationship whatsoever, which is fine because, like, in a work business partner, we were business partners. We were always business partners. And that's it. That's the only thing I ever lied about because I couldn't fucking tell the truth about that and say, you know what? I don't think Keem likes me all that much because then I would have gotten, you don't respect me.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, Chancey. Thanks for the call. I got to be honest with you. I'm going to say this right now. You're going to get, and this is a little bit revenge for Sunday, but I do believe, for our credibility's sake, that this podcast should come out one way or another, Clown. Now, I obviously, you make the final call, and I respect what decision you made. This podcast needs to come out.
I understand. I can't do it, Tommy. I'm sorry. I won't do that.
He is not going to stop. He's probably going to try something else.
If Keemstar
if not just keep all the money, you know?
I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he's going to keep all the money.
All right.
I don't think he will. I might be wrong, but I don't think Keemstar will take it to that level because at the end of the day, he does want to continue the Baited podcast. He gets to keep the fucking channel, right? He's going to get two other people on it. He's going to continue the channel. I don't think he's going to get away with saying he's going to keep all the money. And frankly, to be honest with you, I just don't give a shit.
Yeah, at this point, I don't know if I can.
I give a shit for your sake if he does, But for me, I don't really
Whatever.
care. It's not
I
worth
just,
it.
but
It's
my
not worth
thing
the
is,
fight.
like, it's talking to like Honor the Call in the DMs, and he's like, yeah, you guys will be better back. You'll be working this out, and I'm like, Honor, dude, and especially talking to Honor the Call. This is the the King Exposed guy, right? I get the feeling he thinks, although he's never said this, it's a work, and for my reputation, it needs to be work. Keem's fucking snake. I'm saying it right now, and I mean it. I mean it. You know. And
but that was always the reality. But it was an accepted thing that you were able to work with. Now it's gotten to the point where he's trying to fucking eat you, and there's nothing else.
Yeah. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I'd rather go back. Look, here's another thing. At the end of the day, guys, yeah, I want to be on YouTube, and I don't have to go to work like a normal person. But I could do it. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I could definitely do it. But I tell you something, I can't do. I can't allow Clown to be slandered. He helped me just as much as Keem did. Absolutely, just as much. So, like, what kind of human being would I be if I was like, oh shit, Clown, fuck, he may not have done that shit, but and I know. I actually know already that Keem knows that this is information that he was aware of, and he's just basically making a false narrative. I got to shut up.
There's so much
and stick with
evidence of it.
Keem.
We've literally talked about it on the Beta podcast. As I
I know.
understand it.
It's come up a few times.
Everybody about it in his explanation video.
All right.
It's all documented. It's all out there.
Yeah.
So what do you do? Do you back the guy who's lying, or do you back the guy that's been nothing but truthful with you? I mean,
it's the bottom line.
Sense.
Bottom line. I need to sleep at night, and Clown's been nothing but great to me, and I enjoy his company. I like sitting up and bullshitting with him. I never did that with Keem. That's the only thing I lied about, and I really do apologize for lying about that. But I mean, I had to tell you. If you didn't think we were friends, you never fucking watched it. That's the truth, And I think
I was not lying about me personally. I was not lying about my friendship with Keemstar.
I was.
I feel like I did have one.
You did. No.
Let me probably not today.
Let me make this 100% clear.
Continue that, but I cannot work with the guy.
Yeah. Here's another thing. Let me make this 100% clear. Clown did have a friendship with him. I really didn't. I barely talked to him, and it's not like I didn't have an enemy relationship with him either. I had nothing. I had a business partnership with him. So the whole thing was a big fucking ruse. We did his work for him that he wasn't big enough to do himself, and that was to dig him out of a horrible jam that admittedly wasn't 100% his fault. But what did he do when he got it back? He did exactly what Ethan said he would do. Went back to being the monster that he always was.
Burn that bridge.
That's it. He doesn't care. He doesn't need us. That's really what this comes down to. And he can go on Twitter and freak the fuck out and that. Oh, and I just one more thing, Clown. I just want to make. He was talking about firing me during the scare situation. I want to make that 100% clear. Just get a little back up on that.
He's tried to get rid of Tommy multiple times.
Multiple? Really?
Before that, he doesn't want you on. He didn't want you on, Tommy.
Yeah,
there was one point where he didn't want you on. Fuck it.
Well, it doesn't matter now, but I thought it was just recent.
I made this agreement
it doesn't matter now.
Before the first episode of the podcast, I said to Tommy, and it's not like we made an alliance without Keemstar knowing. Keemstar was aware of it. Yeah. We made an agreement that Tommy, don't worry, because Tommy was worried he was going to get kicked.
Yeah.
So I said to Tommy, don't fucking worry about a thing. You could say whatever you want to say, because Keemstar can't kick you without kicking me, and that was the agreement we had. And I stand by it. I honor it 100%. Always
and he
have.
did. All right. So now you guys heard that. Now you guys heard that. We're going to
start our own podcast.
Are you making that official now?
Let's do it.
Let's do. Do you want to? You want to announce what's going to happen? Because we have talked about this in worst case scenario.
Yeah, we have talked about it after the 33.3% thing. You, me, and we were thinking one other person, and we were going to ask Dave right here in the fucking call to come do a new podcast with us.
What do you think that on, Dave?
Well, I wish I wasn't wearing a Stay Puft Marshmallow when I got this news. But I fucking accept with gusto. Holy fucking shit.
I think it'll never be what Baited was. Unfortunately, it never will be.
No.
We'll never have that dynamic again.
Doesn't need to be.
But it doesn't need to be.
And I don't think it needs to be. And I think you're a pretty funny guy. And I mean, I've working with Dave for 3 years now. I thought he could I think it handle that, but you know what? My favorite part about it is it's in the spirit of Baited too, where we have sort of a giant and middle and then a micro YouTuber, and no more. Look, if I had the opportunity to give my friend a shot at the same sort of luck that I had, this is just a perfect opportunity for Dave.
We are cucking Jeff a bit But
Jeff, come on, he doesn't talk.
If you put me on it, you can call it the lullaby.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
But that means we're going to have to kick Dave off a shot from the point dead, so maybe Jeff will get to talk more.
Hey, I've talked today, so eat me.
We'll speak more about that in private, I think, the three of us. But yeah, that's my plan at the moment. Our plan, if you like. I think it would be a huge success.
I think so too.
I think a lot of people would enjoy it.
I want 50%.
And if you guys squint really hard, it looks like I am Keem that got stung by a bunch of bees. So it'd be great.
So, all right, we'll talk about that another time. But I'm so glad you want. I didn't know if you wanted to do this live. We're definitely going to. But yeah, that's what I want to do.
Beta is over. There's no point.
It's never going to be what it was. But it doesn't mean that we can't do some 6 months from now. We can't do something great. You know, Clown knows a lot of people. He's very, very smart. He's probably the top talent on YouTube. And I know I'm sucking his dick a little bit, but I think he's one of the top video makers on YouTube. Period. Guy makes movies, not videos. You know, and I think it'd be good. Will it be baited? Probably not.
It will be 33.3% each, though. I will be very clear on that one.
Yeah, you greedy fuck. I hope you freeze your ass off in Buffalo, you dumb shit. Fucking Buffalo, what a shithole.
It's not, I don't even know if it's worth fighting.
Yeah, it is good. It's not even worth
really
fighting.
Not. It's really.
Actually, all right. I'll do the. I talked to Dave about this, and he thinks you should have more. Because for the same principle, he actually agreed with Keem on that principle, and I agree with that Keem on principle too. But we'll talk about that.
You're
privately.
the biggest guy.
We'll talk about that privately.
Very kind of firm on that one. It's 33.3%.
There you go. I told you you'd lose.
I guess you twisted my arm. I'll take more money.
All right, man. But that's great, and I hope everybody in the chat's excited about that too. Killer Keemstar, you're on the air.
Hello.
Hey, what do you got for me, Betty? You're dead on Dave and.
Well, I was going to ask about if you guys were going to make a podcast, but it looks like that's going to happen, which is good.
Yeah,
but,
you made it.
Yeah.
So you excited about that? We're just not with Jeff. Jeff's going to school.
Yeah.
You should have been the big losers like us, Jeff, and stayed home all day where we had the time to do this kind of stuff. You'd been fine.
Damn it. Why do I have to go overachieve?
Yeah, right. Go. Stuff. All right, man. Thanks for the call. You have anything else?
Keem just uploaded another video.
I'll let it. He's gonna upload videos for days. Actually, here's the video. Tell Keem this is the video he should upload. Refute Colossal. How about that? Good luck. You'll need it. Refute. Show us the new evidence. Go on. And you know what's gonna happen, Keem? It's gonna be like this. Nobody's buying it anyway.
Good luck.
All right. Turn me down. Oh fuck. No, you lost, pal. 760. You're on the air.
Hey, I was just calling. I don't think Dead on Dave can do the podcast, so I'm here to take his place.
No, you're not. Bye. So 413 on the air.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. What you got for us? You're on with Clown, Dave, and Jeff, and me.
Hey, I just wanted to say I totally saw this coming. Like, the whole point of this entire thing was that everyone was kind of like on their own team, you know? And the fact just watching Keemstar and the way he acts and the way he goes about things, he wants everyone on his team.
Yeah,
but
pretty
the
much.
The point of the Beta podcast was that, everyone was on, had their own points, kind of like their own team.
That's what we were promised. If Clown and him said I could say and do what I wanted, and I pretty much could up until the Leafy Grade situation was over.
Yeah, as soon as the way, towards the end of things, I just noticed and realized that he just wanted control over the entire thing, even though that wasn't the point.
That really wasn't the point. I think he lied to Clown about the thing, and I think he figured, like, I can maneuver. I could not give up my audio. I think the whole thing was planned all along, to be perfectly honest with you. I can't prove it, but considering that we didn't upload a ton of videos that just Clown owned his fucking face in, I can only assume that's the case. Thanks for the call, buddy. But that's what it really kind of came down to. Not everything we scratch Clown was because of Keem looked bad, but it was more than a few. It was definitely more than two, correct?
Sorry, I was just watching Keemstar's made a new Twitter video. I had to log out of Twitter because he's fucking blocked me already. It's ridiculous. Like within 5 minutes
he's going nuts.
This happening.
I'm
just watching it, seeing what he says at the moment. What was your question?
What was my question, actually, Dave? Help me out here.
Oh shit!
Yeah, I completely.
My Twitter's blowing up. I'm sorry.
All right, hey, that's at dead on Dave. Your Twitter's going nuts.
Is a fair criticism, actually.
What is the fair criticism? Well, let's hear the criticism. That we won't put him on. He's not entitled to be on here.
I'm just going to watch it right now, so I'm just going to mute my microphone.
Okay.
But I'll let you know what he says.
All right, I'll put a caller on in the meantime. Let's see. What do we got? Let's go with the Riveter. It really doesn't matter if he has one fair point. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I'm not working with the son of a bitch again, and perfectly honest with you, I know, and he knows I know, and he knows the public knows because of Beta that this information that was on this podcast simply isn't. It's not new. None of it is. Riveter, you're on the air. Riveter, you're gonna blow it. Sorry, Riveter. What's your name? DJ Lorsey, you're on the air. DJ? Can't hear you, bud. What do you got?
You got to get your shit together, buddy.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, it's not good. I'll go back to the phone calls because they're easier. Discord is hard.
I don't know if you want to play this or not.
Yeah.
Now, I know Clown is listening.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you want to play this, but the things that Keem are uploading is apparently the evidence.
Oh, what is it? Let me hear it. Let me hear the evidence.
I don't have it. I mean,
let's hear Clown. Let's hear Clown.
You won't be able to hear it.
What do you got for us, Bai? What's on? What you're on the air? PCBV.
Well, I have a question. What do you think about Keemstar being? How much of a jerk was he? Like, was Grade right at all?
No. Grade lied.
No.
Grade lied. He started a false narrative. Pretty much the same thing Keem did. Is Keem a jerk? Well, I knew he's a jerk going in. I knew he wasn't an angel going into
Not
this.
a freaking wife beater.
You know, he's not a wife beater though, for Christ's sakes. I think what those guys did is like they were afraid what happened to me and Clown today was going to happen to them, so they just jumped the gun. You know, they're afraid of him. That's what I think happened. It was just a stupid move, because their breakup between Keem is based on a lie, and our breakup on Keem is based on something else, something entirely.
So was Keem's fault this time?
I do believe it was. I do believe Keem blew this. It's his fault in the sense that I didn't backstab him. I just took Clown's side because this was, like I said, this was information that was already known. You know what I'm saying?
So essentially, what he's saying in this Twitter video, is that I knew about Leafy conspiring to make these videos before he made the videos, which is true. I knew about Leafy wanting to make a video on Keemstar.
Okay,
that's 100% true. Obviously, I cannot betray Leafy, a friend of mine.
Oh God.
To Keemstar, who was not a friend of mine at the time.
That's so Leafy was thinking about
that I'm going to betray a friend for Keemstar, who was not a friend at the time, and even when Keemstar was a friend, why would I betray another friend just for Keemstar's sake?
And here's another thing,
it's irrelevant information. It's irrelevant that you knew.
If I'm not
you didn't betray him. It's irrelevant.
The other thing is, I mean, we could have betrayed him 26 ways to Sunday with all the stupid shit that he said offline, the threats that he made. We never did that. Why would he's talking about something that happened in January when they weren't friends, and then when they were friends, all Clown did was defend Leafy and Grade as best he could until he couldn't do it anymore. So that's not new evidence, Keem. That's 33.3%. Clown's gonna leave unless he gets a raise. That's what that is. It's a non-argument. Clown's not gonna raise. You're gonna get a pay cut. That's exactly what you did. You fucked up. You're so dumb. You know what? If this is ever an example that sociopaths are not all smart, this is it. Holy Christmas. I mean, God damn. What do you have anything else? PCBV? What's up?
Yeah, I actually wanted to ask Clown something.
Go ahead.
Clown, what's your opinion on the difference between Leafy and Grade and Keem? Did they screw him? Did they fuck him? Did they fuck him over, or was it just? And this time, did he fuck you over?
Please don't.
What's the difference?
I know what you're trying to do. Don't ask me that question because, and this is what Keemstar is saying effectively, because I basically now got to say I've got to fuck over one of them. A friend, fuck over another.
No win.
That's not fair.
That's the position that Keemstar wanted to put me in at the time.
Let's talk about
fuck them over for his.
All right, well, Tommy, I gotta go. So
okay, bud.
Fuck over a friend. Period.
Yeah.
And I made this very clear to Keemstar going into the Beta podcast. Look, I'll do whatever. I'll be part of the podcast for entertainment. That's the main reason why I did it. But I am not prepared to betray what other people have told me in private.
Yeah, which was a constant theme. Which was a constant fucking theme. Oh, God, I want to expose something so bad, but I can't.
Keemstar has asked me before the outright question, did Leafy and Grade backstab me? And I've said no. And it's such an unfair question of him to ask because here's the truth. I know so much about other YouTubers from what they've told me in private. This is just the reality, okay? People tell me stuff, and they trust me to do so. They trust me with the information because I don't fucking betray it.
Yeah, because
it can't be WikiLeaks.
Well, here's another thing.
I outright refuse to betray anyone who has told me something in private.
You're a better person than me.
Friend or fucking not.
You're a better person than me because
holding this against me now is ridiculous.
Yeah, I know. You're a better person than me because I remember when the whole Grade Leafy thing was going on, how he was begging you, Clown, could you please make a video in my defense? Could you please? I'm sorry. And then Clown would say, I'm sorry, I can't betray my friends, and I'm not going to betray you either. But please, could you? Nobody's defending me. And I know I just betrayed Keemstar's trust. But I'm not Clown, and I don't go by Keemstar's phony rules that he doesn't follow himself. So that's
Keemstar has such a loyalty issue, but how can he have a loyalty issue with me when I have never betrayed anyone? I'm sorry.
No, he doesn't have a loyalty issue. He wanted the podcast to end. Hashtag Keem ended baited. Keem ended baited. Not me, not anybody else. Now, I got to do this for a friend of mine. He's another big supporter. I got to run this 30-second ad, all right? Just watch it.
What's happening, everybody? It's Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah, rapper and artist, but you know him better as the co-host of Shot from the Point Live. From the streets of Chicago to the bright lights of Las Vegas, Real Talk rocks the stage and the digital store. Hard-hitting and thought-provoking. Check out my man, Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah.
Make sure you check out his latest release, Black Mozart, along with his latest music video, Notice Me.
Notice Me. Fantastic video. You really got to see. It's like one of my favorite stuff he did. He does this whole thing in the desert. Please, please, please check out Notice Me. Real Talk, the Metaphor Messiah is coming back to Shot from the Point Live. He's a Shot from the Point team member, and we love him a whole bunch. And he's been hurt, and he's coming back after, 4 months off the air. So thank you very much.
Something like that.
And we're finally getting it back. People say, what's the difference between live and dead? Well, it was supposed to be basically Dave and Real Talk, but it just never quite worked out. Enough about me. Way to go, way to debate. But yeah, hashtag Keem ended baited. We did it. We did what we could to save it. And I'll be honest with you, Clown did more than me because I had it. You are on the air
like a couple of weeks ago, and I probably should have listened to you back then. But
and hindsight's 2020, man.
Yeah, man.
You know?
Yeah, that's the truth.
We tried. You
guys made it 13 episodes. That's a huge accomplishment in and of itself.
That had to have cracked the over/under. You guys definitely made someone's parlay. No question.
Yeah, 2 646. You're on the air.
Hey, what's up, man?
What's going on with you, bro?
So I tweeted Colossal. Can you hear me? I don't know.
Wait, everybody can hear you, buddy.
Yeah.
Everybody can.
Okay, what's up? I was the one that tweeted at you before about the Colossal thing with the critical.
Yeah.
And, We talked a lot about that, but Keemstar, have you guys talked about this? Like, I know he's been tweeting a lot, and I just came in. Have you guys been talking at all, or?
No, we find out just when you do on Twitter. Even even before baited, what would I get that message? Skype, and then 100 people friggin' slam my Twitter box. Now I get a bunch of followers over it, so it's not
the problem.
So like that's that. There's the crux of the problem. There is the crux of the problem.
It's the biggest part of this problem.
Yeah. And
your teammates.
The narrative is that we're ungrateful and we stab in the back, and that's what he needed. He did what Leafy and Grade did to him, to me, and Clown. The guys who got him his credibility back. That's what happened. That's what got him. And I don't like I said, again, I didn't regret anything that I said in the defense because I was right. Those guys tried to fuck him over, right? But that's what he's doing to Clown now is ridiculous. And if he couldn't have done it to Clown, he would have done it to me and kept on doing this until it was over.
When all that shit went down and all these videos were being made on Keemstar, I tried to support Keemstar as best as I could at that time.
Mm-hmm.
However, I was not prepared to backstab a present friend who was still friends at the time, and I'm still not prepared to do that now for Keemstar's benefit. And I made that very clear to Keemstar.
Well, maybe look. Here's what you do, Keem. When next time you goes, I want you to follow instead of giving the offer you gave me in Clown. I want you to follow me blindly and just follow my narrative. If I don't, you're fired. And I want you to do that too because you're stupid and we can tear your narratives apart. If Clown had ever made a video about you, you would have been thoroughly embarrassed, humiliated. It's easy to point out your bullshit. You use something called circular reasoning, and it's easy to point out, and it's actually quite comical. Thanks for your opportunity, Keemstar. I absolutely do appreciate that. I do mean that from the bottom of my part. But it's you. I thought you were a person that was hanging around guys that weren't good people, and they had a bad influence on you. I said this to Dave. There was really no difference at the end of the day, and that's too bad because. It's all about you at the end of the day, bud. It's not like we didn't know it before, but I thought you were rehabilitated.
It was a strength of the show. Was the fact
I needed
that
to believe that he was
the Keemstar Get Back show.
As I said when I made the initial tweet saying I'd join the podcast, I said I'd do it for entertainment, but mostly for my entertainment. Selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember
that.
And I stood by that all the way as best as I could, and I think at the end, it just became. It's not entertaining for me anymore if I'm having to deal with this every single fucking day. And it's been literally 2 weeks, and we've had nothing but fucking petty Twitter drama about the most mundane and bullshit things.
All right, man.
I can't promise together we're all going to have the biggest podcast in the world, but I can promise this it's not going to be like this.
It's good. No, it's hard.
It's going to be fun and a lot less,
Exactly.
A lot of laughs.
You got three honest guys right here
that like each other. We actually like each other. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I served the military, Dave. I generally love Clown. I love his content. When I suck his dick, I made it. I put all my effort into it. And thank you guys for being on. 646. Did you have one more question before we left?
Yeah, I do.
One more thing.
Colossal, you were making the video on Keem. You and Tommy, do you guys have any interest in making revising it or?
No,
is
not
that just dead to you?
He said no before early in the podcast. I gotta be honest. Again, he's a better man than me. I dropped the fucking video in 2 minutes. I'm fine, not me.
So no video coming on Keemstar, and I'm not going to be releasing the episode that we cancelled or any of the episodes that we cancelled.
Well, what if he doesn't pay us like he's supposed to? I guarantee.
If he doesn't pay me, I don't care. If he doesn't pay you, I'm gonna kick up a fucking storm. But I'm not going to hold it over his head, and I'm not going to blackmail him by releasing.
Pay me, you bitch. Pay me.
I think that's actually the best way to go. Now, I understand that Tommy thinks otherwise on this, but I actually think that you're doing the right thing because it's part of your reputation to not be vindictive.
I'm not going to blackmail him into paying us.
But what drives me nuts? I know he knows you well enough. He knows you actually follow the code. Keem has a code, breaks it, but you really follow your own code, and that's what just. That bothers me.
It doesn't matter what you do.
I feel like he's using you. Look, I respect Clown's decision no matter what he does. As far as I'm concerned, he's a fucking boss now. But it's just I don't really see a problem with releasing this episode. It's not like it was a private conversation that we released. It was a episode of Baited that had every intention to be released. And let's face it, Dopey Dan. That's a new one. Hashtag Dopey Dan. Dopey Danny, he thought that he got the better end of it, and as time went by, he was like, oh, fuck. Yeah, you made yourself look like a hypocrite. In fact, at the end of the episode, I basically dare him to quit, and he does. Hashtag Keem ended Baited. That's the truth.
About as simple as it gets.
All right, guys.
We're all to blame in a way for the podcast ending, but I know who I point the finger at. And I'm going to keep fucking pointing at it.
You can't blame me at fucking... one thing. I didn't do nothing. I wanted to work. I wanted to make Keemstar money. I wanted to have a little piece of it myself. I was on the biggest YouTube podcast in basically YouTube history. And it's funny that we're now handing that to H3H3. We're just giving him the fucking brass. We're like, here you go H3H3. We're just handing it over to him. And
good luck, buddy.
And it was funny. I just keep remembering what Ethan said. He was just like, are you going to go back to the way you were? It rings in my fucking ear, and I remember
it should have been a telling question to Keem. Keem, when he heard that question, should have been the most telling fucking thing possible. Should have been a wake up call.
He handled it well, but that's the thing. He handled the question.
You would think.
But he ignored
it. He handled the question well. And I remember,
his mindset's
I remember
not going to change no matter what you do.
How do you say Ethan's wife's name? How do you say Ethan's wife's name?
Gila.
She was like, oh, yeah, and that was a long time ago, but I hope you got better because you were a monster. And she was telling him, and I knew it was pissing Keem off because he wouldn't stop.
Ben voice.
It was so funny. It was so funny. And I wish the best of luck to Ethan and stuff. We're going to try to compete with you. You never know. We're pretty funny. We could.
Who knows? It may be even more popular.
Who knows?
I've got a ridiculous,
but at least
hat budget.
Isn't it great that our competitors are sane? Those are nice people, DJ Keemstar,
Either way, it won't matter. Popularity doesn't really matter to me. I think
I know it doesn't.
It's all about if you enjoy doing it, and if people enjoy doing it, then keep doing it.
Yeah, and that's it.
We're gonna do great
that's
content.
the only reason to do anything.
I think we're gonna turn out some great shit.
All right, man. Jeff, Dave, Clown, I'm going to end this thing. I hope we answered all your questions. Stay tuned to Keemstar's Twitter feed for more lame excuses about evidence that was in that podcast that, wasn't already in the baited podcast months earlier. Good luck to you. Thank you very much, everybody. Like, love it, and share it. I hope you subbed. Hey, thanks, Keem. I guess. I'll see you around, and if I become irrelevant, I'm sure you're going to say that or whatever. So be it. This thing will always be there.
Spin fives, black stones, 6 mile to danger zones. Bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated, evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe. Here's a headlock.
Whatever your experiences are, the rough spots that you hit, if you didn't have a rough spot, write the good stuff. It's always a place for it. It's a time within. I play this.